you don't bother to inquire about them, and you forget to think. You get too lazy to think. And one of the guaranteed ways to have a bad future is to stop thinking and allow the machines to think for you. But that again needs to be.
If you combine those things together, the AI can do what we can do today. And we have to focus on what's the next step. How do we have a form of awareness of our metacognition to say, what's the next thing? How can we think better? And like you mentioned, specifically around problem solving, critical thinking, two of your super skills. How do
information that's going into people's brains, making them smarter, the democratization of knowledge and intelligence is probably getting higher. It just so happens that the way people are getting that intelligence probably doesn't involve reading as much as it used to.
Conscious thing. We never needed to think about that before because we always had to think because we didn't have the answer.
It's human nature, yeah.
Just at a button, under a button for us. But now we can just push a button and there's an answer. But we need to think about it.
So I said this. So I said this the other day. I said because I was showing the whole Manus demo and it was running 50 tasks simultaneously. And I said you'll get to a position where when you have these things running simultaneously, and then you have neurosymbolic AI where they start to understand the intangible and the things that how we communicate, but we don't actually say explicitly. And then we have causal AI, which can start to understand the why between our data and not just understand pattern matching. If you combine those things together, the AI can do what we can do today. And we have to focus on what's the next step. How do we have a form of awareness of our metacognition to say, what's the next thing? How can we think better? And like you mentioned, specifically around problem solving, critical thinking, two of your super skills. How do we elevate our capabilities? Because if we risk becoming cognitive misers and we rely on the AI outputs.
I heard our good friend, can I call him a friend of the show? Our friend Elon Musk. I heard him say
you
that.
Have to.
I heard him say that, the limit with these things at the moment is both text and speech, actually, but at some point we're going to transcend those. We will. And there was a video that came out from Ray Kurzweil yesterday, the guy who wrote The Singularity is Near, saying actually what's going to happen is everyone's talking about AI as something that's going to become a smarter species than human. His view is actually that won't happen. We will just merge and humans will transcend that. There will basically merge with AI. And then all those things that you talked about in terms of the way that we interface with AI, those limits will be gone because we'll use all the kind of modes.
Cognitive cyborgs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're getting quite deep already, aren't we? Yeah, and that's the power. It gives you a superpower, doesn't it?
It is a superpower. And Josh is quite right. If you're an architect, you might do it in a different way. Or if you're, in the project business, you might say, well, how is there anything here that's relevant for project delivery? Yeah. So yes, we all sort of ingest in a slightly different way, but I think you've got to work on the assumption. And this is the bit that slightly worries me. You hear these stories about, well, nobody reads anymore. Now, does that mean that they're only reading tweet length things, or does it mean they're doing things like I say, or they're watching longer educational video type stuff? Because it does worry me. There's clearly, or I think there's going to be a divide between the type of person that really leans into all of this and thinks, "Oh, this is great! I can now ingest so much more. I can know more about." I think
everything. That's already happening, Anthony. I'm already starting to notice that divide. Actually,
really.
Yeah, I mean, because you say that there's less people who read, but then if we turn that word around slightly and say, do you think less people are ingesting information? Then the answer is probably no, because more people are listening to podcasts, more people are listening to audiobooks, more people are doing what you've done using these tools. So the amount of information that's going into people's brains, making them smarter, the democratization of knowledge and intelligence is probably getting higher. It just so happens that the way people are getting that intelligence probably doesn't involve reading as much as it used to. Has that changed your thinking at all? Have you ever looked at the chain of thought and what's happened, the reasoning, and actually that's not the actual answer, but the thought process has changed something for you?
I tell you what, it has made me think that I don't think hard enough.
I know, right? When you get a tool that can,
you look at these and it goes through all these different variables that you should look at. You think, oh, I haven't taken that.
But on that,
taken
Anthony,
that.
just quickly there, then, when you look at the O3 chain of thought reasoning, it's quite artificial. When you look at DeepSeek's chain of thought reasoning, it has an internal monologue like a human. And I don't know why they do that. Is that helping the AI or is that helping us understand it? Because I find a lot of utility reading the DeepSeek's chain.
Yeah, I do. That's really good.
That one's incredible.
Really? Are you both using DeepSeek?
I use both. I use
A little
O3 mostly because of the personalization. It keeps it learns who I am. But just reading DeepSeek's chain of thought, I mean, it's really good because it will say that and it'll be like, oh, but I should do this. Oh, maybe I should do this. Oh, but he mentioned this. And I find that thought weird because is that actually the way that it's thinking, or is that just for us? Because it uses filler words. And why is that conducive for the AI? I can't work out.
You know what's interesting? I'm working on a thing at the moment that we're trying to develop a new. But only saying it sort of follows on from what we're talking about is exactly as Joshi said. Talk to ask the models what you need to know, but push them hard. People don't realize, and to be honest, the thing I did yesterday was pushing a prompt harder than I've ever done, and it sort of amazed me. It took about 10 minutes to print out the answer.
Yeah, wow, that's some prompt,
and it was extraordinary. You can really push these things, and they're fun. They're interesting. Just ask them stuff about you're interested in.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, there you go. Really good advice to end the episode with. So, Anthony, thank you so much for giving up some of your time. It always is a pleasure to speak to you. Well, I think we can officially class you as a friend of the podcast. So
it was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We'll see everyone later. Bye-bye.
Project Flux is here.
Three, 4, 1, 2. Is everything working? What's happened with... Is everything working? It looks like it. I can have a look at no apps using significant energy. Arc. I can have a look at the CPU. Energy.
Project Flux is here.
Just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Construct AI. For anyone interested in looking at Construct AI, the link's in our show notes. There's a free tier that you can play around with. Yoshi and I have been using it for a good year since it was originally launched, and we get a huge amount of value out of it. So I thoroughly encourage everyone to go onto the Construct AI site and have a play around.
Cool. And guys, before we sign off, please don't forget to share, follow, and like all of our stuff. So that helps us to engage with you and understand a bit more about what you want so we can bring it to your doorstep as early as possible.
See you later, everyone.